Alan Fernandez, and I am with the Genetics Policy Institute, which the name might lead you to believe that I'm in genetics. Wrong. No. No, we're changing our name right now legally to World Stem Cell Foundation, and that certainly doesn't minimize the importance of knowing about genes and how they relate to stem cells. There's certainly a convergence going on in the science world. Our foundation is a 501c3, founded about 9.5 years ago by Bernie Siegel. Bernie Siegel was a practicing attorney, and there were some people that claimed they had cloned a baby up in Canada, a group called the Ryalians. And Bernie had done a paper with his 10th grade high school daughter at the time on Dolly the sheep. So he knew something about cloning and thought to himself, wait a minute, this sounds like it's not a true story. And so he researched the Ryalians a bit up in Canada and found out that they had a practicing office in Broward County where he had jurisdiction to practice law. So Bernie, a man of adventure, decided to sue for custody of the baby. The people were given too much credibility. They were presenting in Washington on their advancements of the supposed clone baby. Rudy Yanish from MIT and Ian Wilmot, who cloned Dolly the sheep, both reached out to Bernie and said, you know, we've never had a legal mouthpiece, someone actually talking accurately about what we're doing, and misinformation is going to surely send our field to some complications. So Bernie decided to leave the practice of law and started the Genetics Policy Institute. Back at the end of 2003 is when he started to get organized. And out of that came another effort to bring some clarity. And the UN was looking to ban somatic nuclear transfer, which is a component of stem cell research. And that was going to be a major setback. And Bernie actually got the Far East delegation to let him come on the floor of the UN and presented 4 months before Christopher Reeve died, presented to the UN accurate information about stem cell technology. And what happened is that the world ban didn't happen by one vote. Okay? There was 35,000 signatures that Bernie got together that went to the UN delegation, and Christopher Reeve, 4 months before he died, recorded a plea to the elected officials to really think responsibly about the decision that they were about to make. Again, it's a point of education going on, right? And then out of that, Bernie decided, wow, I like this advocacy. He left the practice of law, and he started the Genetics Policy Institute formally. And since then, we've become leaders at working to bring the interdisciplinary world together. And when you think of stem cells, there's different flavors of interdisciplinary going on. And there's the science, which all you in research, bless you for being involved in what you do. You choosing a degree in stem cells and working at Dr. Katie's lab, I wish there were millions of you. And there should be millions of you because of the exciting opportunities stem cells are going to bring to our world, okay? Not just to us personally. And out of the education and public awareness activities, we started producing events. So I met Bernie in 2007, February 2007. I got into stem cells and public awareness, and my first event was February 2007, actually. But I got into stem cells September 2006. Game changer. Had been in technology, had been in publishing, had done some, noted things in various companies, but never felt like I was working for my heart, for a larger purpose. And if you look at this world, too many of us are focused, way too many of us are focused on just trying to promote our own goods, our own services, our own agenda. And it's gotten to the point where we are in this reality today, which I could probably get every hand in this room to go up and say, well, I'm not totally happy with the trajectory our country is on pick your flavor of what you're dissatisfied about, right? So we decided to do events, right? So Bernie did 2 before me. 2007, I meet him, and then we hooked up with Harvard. And we produced the largest interdisciplinary stem cell event with Harvard in 2007. 2008, University of Wisconsin and Y-Cell Institute. 2009, Johns Hopkins and University System of Maryland. 2010, University of Michigan and Michigan State. And 2011, Caltech, okay? City of Hope, California Stem Cell Agency, our $3 billion protected, constitutionally protected stem cell funding agency, largest in the world. Cedars-Sinai Regenerative Medicine Institute, country of Canada, Children's Hospital, Keck School of USC, a number of sponsors, different companies providing tools and technologies to forward the field, economic development organizations as well, endorsing organizations from Harvard to the Parkinson's Action Network, 240 logos on the site, building a community. Okay, these are all people that have to get board approval to put up a logo. So this is not, it's a real thing. And a whole plethora of various sponsors. So that's just one gesture, you know, to try to advance the world. Largest interdisciplinary stem cell event. And it's happening next, we're just announcing it next week. So it's December 3, 4, 5 in Palm Beach, Florida. December 3, 4, 5 in Palm Beach. And there's a number of resources available at the website, including the World Stem Cell Report, which helps shed light on the interdisciplinary world that we're in. Okay? So I said there's 3 flavors. There's 3 flavors. The science, which you all, thank you for being in science. Underneath it, an ecosystem that needs much more support and is not totally coordinated right now. It includes the world of pharmaceuticals, biotechs, academic research institutes, ethics, right? Policy, law, finance, insurance, and all the flavors of patient advocacy organizations, right, that are out there. Everyone cares, right? A lot of people care. 70% of our country is actually for embryonic research, right? So we should pay attention to what the country wants. But there isn't a framework in place to advance the progress that we all need. Why do we need progress, right? And I'll go back to the framework and what's happening with some of the organizations that we work with to advance cell therapy. But the reason to be, personally, I know Joane, that's reason enough for me. Hanging out with Joane for 3 days is reason enough for me, I guarantee you. On top of Joane, we have a population growth that is going through the roof. 10,000 people every day are turning 65. 10,000 people. And how many of them are going to get sick? 1 out of 3, guaranteed. 1 out of 3 will get a chronic disease of some sort. Can they afford it financially? Doubt it. Doubt it, okay? Average American making $50,000 a year. How are they going to afford the pills? How can they even pay their copay? So it's illogical. And you look at the statistics, the year 2020, what is the U.S. government going to spend on chronic disease? The answer, $4.6 trillion. So look at that, and look at the imbalance in trade, look at the economics of what's going on, look at our healthcare system, look at how all the dots are not connecting adequately to cover our back for a future that we can't afford. Even today, we can't afford it. If you balanced our books just on healthcare alone, we're bust, right? So there's an opportunity to wake up for people to have more compassion and learn more about the various diseases and the afflictions that are going out and how that affects not only the families, but our country, right? I know this is a long introduction, but this is sort of part of the frame of different thinking of the opportunity that we all see. And collectively, we need to demand more. And that's why we're here today. That you all show up on a Saturday is fabulous. Fabulous. You could be anywhere. And you chose to come here. And now the opportunity for us is to unite our voices that are completely splintered. And this, I commend your foundation, right? It's definitely at the forefront with breast cancer. definitely doing the right thing, right? But collectively, between all the various disease groups, we're very splintered. We're not singing on the same song, you know, and a lot of us are not operating with the compassion. If we're not afflicted, I'm here to say that we're all patients. It's not, that's a fact. I have some, you know, we're all sharing in ailments of one sort or another. None of us know what it's like to be Joan every day. None of us would sign up to be Joan every day and the complications that she has, right? And how she can keep her spirit is magical, right? That's addicting, you know? So I'm seeing an opportunity for us to unite our voices, to work to help the science be interdisciplinary, to help the ecosystem be more interdisciplinary. And for those two things to happen, it's the people underneath. We're leaders, right? We all have to lead the herd forward in an interdisciplinary fashion, when we might not have been schooled in an interdisciplinary way. Stanford University is just now putting their Stem Cell Institute, they just opened up a beautiful building. They're interdisciplinary. They have people working on the different types of science in the same building. The Sanford Consortium, Denny Sanford, gave away the most money in the United States last year. His building just opened up last week in San Diego, where I was. And that building is specifically designed to have people interacting with one another. So for whatever we didn't learn in traditional school, wherever we graduated from, now it's time to make it up and be in a mood of wonder of like, hey, what can I learn from this other discipline or this other person? And if we all start treating each other as if we're strangers. We're not all strangers. We're all in this common situation or problem or opportunity together. So I'm thankful to be here for sure. I mean, and I want to say that one opportunity that we have is that we all decide on one action when we leave this room tonight. One action. Do one thing that you weren't planning to do tomorrow or on Monday, but don't forget to do one thing. It could be clicking on the Susan Komen Foundation site. It could be going to my site. Maybe you learn about your elected official and where they stand. Do something. Do something. I go to so many stem cell events, and there's like a cognitive, emotional disconnect. And it's like the patients are over there, and here are the people doing the research. And the fact being known is everyone needs to be in this game together. So if you want to be an advocate, don't be just a patient advocate, but be a research advocate. Be an advocate. Care and work from the inside out, from your local community out, and try to get the information. Assuredly, the information is not there. It's not that easy. You have to study economics a bit, a little finance, a little bit about science, a little bit this and that, but it gets more and more exciting. So that's all I want to say for my intro, because I've taken up way too much time, but that's also just to frame some different thinking. And there is a card, I put out cards here, and each of you will take one. And if you're comfortable supporting embryonic research, then great, then go on the website and tell your official you care. Do at least that. And if you're complaining about how things are, but you're not doing anything, then shut up, okay? Because there's too much of that already, right?